For folks who are not familiar with police athletic leagues, would you tell folks what they do, share that with our viewers?
Sure. The whole concept of the Police Athletic League was developed and came about in New York City back in 1914. A guy named Sergeant Flynn had received a number of complaints from the various shop owners and store owners and innkeepers of youth hanging out with nothing to do in a particular area of New York City. And this gentleman approached these youth and started some programming that became PAL boxing in New York City. And to this day, PAL boxing is synonymous with PALs across the country. Shortly thereafter, started a track program, and a number of things began flourishing. The Police Athletic League, over the years and with changes in time, has taken different transformations, went through different transformations, and a lot of times now, a lot of communities refer to it as the Police Activities League, Police Athletic and Activities, because so much of what is being done, even in Albany, is more activities than it is athletics. Where we first began, we started with performing 4 athletic type events throughout the year. Now with our after school programming, with our summer day camps, with our educational field trips, with the computer club, with the dance programs, with the cheer squads, it's taken on so much more than athletics. We've chosen to hang on to that name because of the history, 100-year history associated with that name. New York City obviously maintains their name as the New York City Police Athletic League. They're the largest PAL program in the world, and when you talk about that, you're talking about PAL on a world basis, and across our country in the United States, we have more than 2 million youth participating in about 700 PAL programs around the country and in North America.
Talking about New York City, the Police Athletic League down there is the largest nonprofit youth organization in that city. Are you in a similar situation here in Albany?
Well, I don't know if anybody's ever done any of those types of studies. I know there's a number of great organizations in Albany and in the surrounding area that serve youth. I don't know if there's anyone serving youth the way we do and the numbers we do. We have 3,000 different youth participate. Some of those kids for sure will do one activity. A lot of those kids will do multiple activities and events, and then the percentage of them are coming every day to our after-school clubs, be it at the PAL Center or in one of the schools, or coming to our summer camp programs all day. This past summer, we had over 250 kids every day in one of 4 different summer camp sites. So it has evolved to be a lot more. And we're finding, especially in this economy, that a lot more parents are needing that assistance with basically their daycare options. I mean, during the summer, kids are out of school, parents still have to go to work. And, obviously no one wants to see a 6-year-old left home alone or a 10-year-old babysitting them. So programs like PAL, fill a major void for families, especially in comparison to some of the for-profit venues that are providing the same types of services.
What is the age demographic of boys and girls who can participate in Albany Police Athletic League, or any police athletic league, really?
Well, it varies from community to community based on the type of programming. In Albany, our primary demographic are those youth age 8 to 18, but we have extended programming for youth as young as 4 and as old as 21. So, depending on the activity, our Police Explorers program will incorporate youth up to age 20. Our summer camp, we've had 4-year-olds in it. Generally speaking, the 4-year-old, if they have an older sibling in the program, are welcomed in the program. Our after-school programs, if youth are involved in full-day school, then they're welcome to participate in our after-school programs. So it varies from activity to activity. Our basketball league, we had 32 teams are what we're planning for this year in our basketball program. And that will serve youth 14 under, 12 under, 10 under. So, with our plans to grow that program next year to 16 under. So it's been a process where we've added when we can. I mean, we're a small organization. We only have, there's myself and 4 staffers. Okay. So it's not like we have Queen Sherry. It's not like we have folks all over the place. So we get a lot done with a small group of core people. And like I said, a lot of what we do, we have a tremendous amount of support from the college, from the higher education institutions in and around Albany. We have a number of youth that come down and help out from the College of St. Rose, from University of Albany, from Russell Sage. The Albany College of Pharmacy students had a little fundraiser. We were the recipient of those proceeds. We have a Siena College Vista work in our office that has brought us that whole Siena College family. So we share in a lot of community support. It's widespread and across the board relative to whether it's raising funds, contributing hours, contributing manpower, or sitting down, listening to a child and addressing some concerns. You
have had some tremendous success stories of graduates of the Albany Police Athletic Program. This past summer we went to a fundraiser. You had a restaurant being owned and operated by a PAL graduate. You've also got an NFL player who came through the PAL program.
Oh yeah, we've had a number of folks going back over the years. Lionel Chalmers had a stint in the NBA. He's now playing in Europe. Taylor Battle's playing in Europe in basketball. Dion Lewis is with the Cleveland Browns in the NFL. Jose Filomeno is an owner in a very popular restaurant, Mingle, on Delaware Avenue. Dr. Elena Melton, I believe she might have that title by now. Last we had heard she was in her last year of medical residence out at University of Oklahoma Medical Center. And then the hundreds of stories, success stories, right down to Chelsea Zeller, who's in her last year at University of Albany, and she's a director of our after-school club. She was a PAL kid since she was 10 years old. So that's kind of the cool part that we're experiencing now, where we've been around. Detective Quinlivan, Kevin Quinlivan was one of our PAL kids at the first PAL event over in Bleecker Stadium when we paraded around the promenade at Bleecker Stadium and had the fire hoses there to cool kids off and the different activities and events. Kevin Quinlivan is now a detective in the Albany Police Department. Sergeant Gibson, Daryl Gibson, was a PAL kid. So it's cool. For me, it's awesome to see so many of these kids. That 25 years ago, Jose was a little leaguer at the American Little League program, and he was in our marching band. His sister Jen was in our marching band. She's now a lawyer for the state. These are kids that grew up in tough opportunities, tough situations. I mean, they're in a single-parent household, living on Orange Street in Arbor Hill. Mom worked her heart out and worked herself at times almost. You'd think to a point where you're exhausted, but she did a great job raising her kids. And we have so many families that do what's necessary to provide for their family and to raise them right, and we're just proud to be part of that process.
You recently had a dinner that Kathy and I were at, and the one thing that we both noticed was that there is a good feeling about those who have gone through the program, adults that went through the program. You see them now as adults going to your dinner. There's just a good feeling about the Albany Police Athletic League, and that goes back to you. You should be very proud of that.
Well, we're very proud of where we are. We had a terrific event. It was a celebration of our 25th anniversary, and it was a culmination for our first ever capital campaign. As you know, we took over the former Vincentian Institute High School, and it was in a condition where it needed a number of dollars. The building department had actually closed sections of the building, so we needed to make an instant investment in the building. And the diocese worked with us, and we're happy to call VI our home at 844 Madison, the Albany PAL Center at VI. And we've invested probably about $200,000 to date on some of the renovations and repair work that had to be done. And we had a capital campaign that was chaired by Joe Nicola from Columbia Development, and between Joe and our board chairman David Bauer from Gallagher, and then Tom Broccoli from RBC, we're fortunate. We culminated our gala and closed out our capital campaign, and we raised a little over $300,000. So it was just tremendous. The event itself, as you spoke of, there was a lot of pride in that room from all the folks that were there. We had nearly 300 people at the dinner, and I think everyone felt a kinship and a connection to their piece of our success, and that's what we wanted from little 6-year-old LaShawn, who got up to help lead the Pledge of Allegiance, to our explorers who in tandem with the Albany Police Honor Guard, it's the first time we'd done that, where we had some of our explorers, 3 of our explorers worked with 3 of the police officers and came out together and presenting the colors for posting, to Ariel King's rendition of the national anthem and how beautifully she did with that presentation.